What's up, Kansas City? My name is Tennille Benton, and you're watching The Real with Tennille show. I'm here with Max Groove. I must say that I am so honored and amazed to be in the company of such a jazz great. Mr. Groove, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Max?
I've been doing music full-time for a living since 1973. In 1980, I started my Max Groove jazz band. It's more of a fusion jazz, smooth jazz. In the 70s, I had a band called Max Groove, the late 70s, that was a disco band. And I tell you what, I got tired of that stuff. I couldn't, after a few years of doing that, I was a mess, okay? I was a mess. And so I went to work in a recording studio, just answering the phones, drying out, and getting my act together. And next thing I know, we were a studio rhythm section. And one time on a gig, I was with the drummer and the guitar player. We said, man, we should just form a band, and go play live. And so I did that, and I called it Max Groove. And we went and we opened for everybody from Count Basie to Kool and the Gang. We were there, man. It was awesome. It really was awesome.
I have a question because we get a lot of questions from our viewing audience, and they want to know how to get started. Did you know, at 5 years old, that this is what I wanted to do with my life? I'm going to be this great jazz pianist, and I'm going to go all over the world.
I as a child at 5 years old, I was playing guitar. My uncle bought me this metal guitar. It was an old 1932 Supro, and I would lay my head on it and tap on it and play strings, and I just thought, wow. And then I became a violist, a classical violist, when I was 9, and by 15, 16, I was playing the keyboards, and that was so hip, and then I started playing all these churches and sock hops or whatever they're called, these little parties, and so that was a life for me.
I have a question. Can anybody do what you have accomplished, or is this truly a gift? Because I believe it's a gift.
Well, I think, this is my opinion, I think God gives us all a gift, and it's on us to find it, reach it, and do whatever we want with it. Because this is why we're alive. I mean, come on, we're breathing. This is happening. I mean, I'm alive. You pinch me, I go, ouch. So I have this gift, and I found it, and I realized it, and anybody can do that, because we all have a gift.
In talking about gifts, I want to know, and please forgive me, my viewing audience, but I met him really early in the morning.
Well, I was at the Foundation, okay? I stayed up late with my drummer after a gig. We went to the Foundation, jammed, had a great time, and then we went to this little coffee house that stays open all night long, YJ's, that was a good place, and they make great breakfast, and it's better than going, I love Town Topic, but I just, there's so many people, so I go there. And there you were, that was funny.
I know, right?
I don't remember a whole bunch of it.
And he actually played for us, and I was...
Oh yeah, they got that piano there.
I could have cried. I was so excited. Now, I understand that you've done about 12 albums so far, and at least 3 of those have been in the, top 20 on the Billboard Jazz?
Billboard charts, yeah, Billboard Jazz charts, smooth jazz, jazz charts. Yeah, I've done 12 of them. I'm working on 2 more right now.
Compared to now, 2015, compared to what it was like back when you first got started, do you feel that it is easier or harder for jazz musicians to be mainstream?
Whole lot harder. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much competition, and then the avenues have dried up a lot. I made most of my my album sold not in the straight ahead market, but in the more contemporary jazz, smooth jazz. I'm a little too aggressive for smooth jazz, but that's where they charted. And man, that whole industry has changed terrible. It's so hard to do anything. But when there's a will, there's a way. You have a gift. You can't say no. I mean, I never said no.
Now, I have a question. I think this is really kind of funny. But I was telling my parents that I was interviewing you, and how when I was growing up, I always saw that you were black. Did you get that a lot?
Oh, I've always gotten that. Even in California, where I'm played a lot, our albums have played worldwide. But everybody thinks I'm a brother because it's soulful music. And that's just a testament to my mom, man. My mom was an opera singer And she went from New York. You know, I was brought from New Jersey to Kansas City when I was 1 year old. But my mom was an opera singer for years, and she came to Kansas City and still continued doing that, raising 3 kids in the hood. Man, it was my hat's off to my mom, you know, and she gave us all, you know, just soul, you know. And where I grew up, man, they're all my friends, you know. They just.
Now tell us where you grew up, because I thought you told me, was it Linwood and Holmes?
Yeah. I grew up
no pressure.
above Mr. T's TV rental, right there on the corner. There was 2 apartments above this business, and both apartments were they had young mothers in there, or mothers in there, and raising children, because it was really, and it was nasty. Rats, cockroaches, holes in the floor. It was disgusting.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and then my mom, God bless her, married a jazz violinist.
No irony there.
And moved me to Prairie Village, and I graduated from high school in Prairie Village. You know, and that was a real cultural shock, and I didn't like being there. There's no, you know, that wasn't fun for me at all. And people, they you know, they have so much money, they didn't know how to appreciate the sheer act of living. So it was really you know, for me, I didn't enjoy it.
What is one of the best things that your mom ever taught you? It could be a favorite quote or just a saying, idea. I had stolen 3 flashlights from the I believe it was Western Auto up the street from where we lived over on Truce, and I was so proud of that. I'd never taken anything before, and I was a little kid, you know, and she saw those flashlights, grabbed them from me. Besides beating me to death, she threw them down the sewer and dragged my ass all the way up to the Western Auto or whatever that was. She didn't make you apologize, did she?
Yeah, to the manager. And this is funny. Years later, the manager's son and I became friends because they were out in Prairie Village. Is that weird?
Yeah, that's weird.
But Darren Hyder. But my mom did that, and I'll tell you what. And she was poor. We had nothing, you know. And man, I've never stolen.
Wow, that's awesome.
Did not steal.
You seem pretty passionate about that. You're about good character and integrity. Do you think that has what has made you been so successful, because you have been about good character?
Well, good character, I don't know. Man, I'm living every moment, so I don't know if it's always good or bad, but I try to be as true and honest to myself and as positive as possible on all walks.
Is there a favorite album that you have done? What's your favorite album that you've done?
Haven't done one yet.
Favorite song?
Looking Glass Bridge.
Okay.
You know, I got a lot of success early, and I made a lot of money, and I went on vacation a lot. And there's this island I would go to called Eleuthera, and there's this bridge. It's a floating bridge, and the island's cut in half. It's only 1.25 miles at its widest. But anyway, this area, there's this really cool bridge. So all the locals, you know, there's not tourists on this island. It's an out island, the Bahama chain, on the ocean and the Caribbean, right on each side. Anyway, most beautiful place I've been on the planet. So I wrote a song about it, and it's funny. It's in 7/8 time, right? In 7/8, but the melody's in 4/4, and it got a lot of radio airplay. Freaked me out. I couldn't believe it. 7/8. And they put it in mainstream radio. So I thought that was a real accomplishment. And it's so pretty. In fact, I'm hearing it right now in my head, and I'm blue water dreaming.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Do you have any special quotes or any advice you would like to give up-and-coming artists who want to pursue their passions?
You really want to ask me that?
I really do. I really do.
Yeah, to be honest, you know, you have to live your life. Find that one thing that makes you happy. That's a dream. I've been living my dream my whole life. I can't believe it. And so, you only have one life to live. Live it as a blonde.
He called me a blonde. At first I thought he said I was a dark-skinned blonde, but I was just a blonde, so that was okay.
Well, yeah, it was funny. You're so funny. She was flittering around, and it just reminds me, and that's the attitude of life. I'm a blonde. You bet I'm a blonde. I'm a blonde, and I'm living it like I love it every moment. Why not?
Do
This is the
buffaloes
gift
have
we're
wings?
given.
No. I'm sorry, was that inappropriate, Mr. Groove?
No, it wasn't. I thought it was quite
Okay.
appropriate.
Now, tell us a little bit about some of the people that you work with your own self, like your drummer, or the people in the group,
Well, you
Max
know,
Trio.
Max Berry and I, when I started the jazz band, the fusion band in 1980, we had a studio rhythm section with Emmett Lee on drums and Max Berry on guitar, who also doubled as bass. And I played keyboards, as well as engineered and produced the session, you know, because I've been a recording engineer since -- But that was who started the band. It was the nucleus. And then when we went live, Max doesn't like to play live. Who later married my sister, by the way, in '83.
Are they still together?
Yep.
Oh, darn, I missed my chance.
Can you believe that? Oh, geez. So anyway, I had other guys I hired when he wouldn't go play shows with us, and it was like Paul Evans on guitar, Blake Hughes on bass, and then Michael Helton was on sax for a while, great guy. Those guys, and that was my nucleus for umpteen years. We played with everyone, I'm not kidding you, from the Crusaders, Joe Sample, to everyone, Temptations,
Like the Four Tops, okay.
Whispers. I mean, I got to be, there's so many, Joan Armatrading, Jeff Lorber, of course, Alex Bugnon's a bud, I've even opened for him. Joan Armatrading, she wasn't nice. Roy Ayers, he wasn't nice either. But Lonnie Liston Smith, Stanley Turrentine. I'm just saying, I played with all these people for years, you know, and it was just such an honor and a blessing to play with these cats. You know, I mean, we were the opening act, of course, but they treated me with so much respect. Most of them did. There was a couple of a-holes, like Jeff Lorber was a real weenie, and so was Roy Ayers. Joan Armatrading, she hated the fact that and so did Roy Ayers, they hated the fact that we would get encores as an opening act. And they didn't want us to take encores, but yet the promoters who hired us, well, they loved me. They said, hey man, you do it. And so I had definite altercations after the show that they would get in my face.
And is that because basically it's like you're getting encores, but we're the main attraction, and it ended up that the opening act.
Well, you know, that's because, in my opinion, okay, they're small people.
Okay.
I've been blessed with being a headliner, and if ever we have an opening act, man, I encourage it. That's an honor, man. And if they're kicking it and they get an encore, whoa, I'm there. I'm going to celebrate with them.
Okay.
You know, of course. And hopefully at the end of the show, and I've had a few cats come back and jam with us.
Okay.
You know, and I celebrate their glory, because that's nothing wrong with that. You know, that's honesty from the audience. And then it's my gig, my job, to come out and do what I do and kick some butt too, you know, and come out and get them to love what I do. And then all of a sudden, the audience has had one heck of a great night.
Do you feel that music is universal?
Oh yeah, it's a universal language. I've seen people all over the world. I've met people from China to, you know, when we toured Switzerland and Europe, you know, people just knew my music, knew me.
Was it mind-blowing?
It's an honor. That's fact.
What was your favorite country to tour in? Do you have one?
United States.
No.
Food's not
We're
good.
not paying him to say that.
No,
so.
food's not that good over there, guys. It's highly overrated. I'm serious.
Okay.
I mean, the promoters took good care of us, so we ate good. But when I would go visit the little towns and the little stuff, I never warmed up to a bunch of it. So yeah, I'd rather. And you know, it's nice when people you understand what they're saying. You know, Switzerland was weird. I remember we were up in the Swiss Alps, and a lot of people speak English there, but a lot of them don't. And that was real primitive, you know. But that was a cool place, you know. I mean, it's all good. Wherever I'm at, it's all good. It's all I care. I'm doing good right now. Hanging out with Tennille, man. the real deal.
Bye.
That's it. That's what I'm saying.
Now, tell our audience where they can find you. Like, if they want to book shows or want to find you, where can they find you?
Please book a show. I want to go play music. I don't want to sit on my hiney. I'm ready to go play right now, right now. You can go to my website, maxgroove.com. I have videos up. I have song bites of my latest CD, Night Owl. You can get it on iTunes. Wow. Maxgroove.com.
Can you tell our audience one thing that they may not know about Max Groove?
My real name isn't Max Groove.
You'll have to stay tuned if you want to find out what his real name is.
Can't tell you.
I would like to thank Max Groove for being with us today on the Real with Tennille Show.
Thanks.
Special thanks to Cascade Media Group and WhatsUpKansasCity.net for allowing us the privilege and the honor to do this. And remember, if you can't keep it real with yourself, you can't keep it real with Tennille.
Fact.
Hi, my name is Nelson. And my name is Mia. And we are CMG. If you would like to promote your business, goods, or services, visit us at WhatsUpKansasCity.net and CascadeSports.tv. And remember, it pays to advertise.